Hi, welcome back. Today we're doing something a little different. We've had a visit to the Chateau de Dundurn, or Dundurn Castle, as I like to call it, the Canadian Downton Abbey. This beautiful 40-room Italian-style villa was built in the 1830s in Hamilton on the fortified site of the British settlement by Sir Allan Napier MacNab, a railway magnate who was also the Premier of Canada. He was married twice, and one of his children is the great-great-grandmother of the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla. If you visit the castle's gift shop, you will find Sophia MacNab's diary, and it tells of her life at the castle during this time. Just like Downton Abbey, this castle tells its story of the family above stairs and the servants below, who lived and worked during the 1830s to 1862, when MacNab passed away. The entrance hall. So the first room you saw when you entered this impressive house was the entrance hall, and it was there for one reason alone: to make you look around and think how important the person who owned this house was. Now, the walls were made to look like marble. They weren't actually marble, because that would have been extravagantly expensive, so everything wasn't always as it seemed. Just off the front hall was the impressive sitting room. This was the Scarlet Room, and this room was built for one reason only. In fact, if you were a child or a woman, you were hardly in this room unless for entertaining. A child could not be in this room until they were 13. Everything was built to make you feel like you were somewhere special, as was the formal dining room. This wouldn't have been used every day. This was a room that was used for special occasions, and again, just to impress. The sitting room and the parlour were used day to day. They were still on the ground floor, but they were further towards the back of the house. These were the family rooms. They were still impressive, they were still beautifully decorated, and they still had all the mod cons that would have been available to a very rich family at this era. There was gas, there was running water, there were all the things that you would have needed to have a very comfortable life. Along with the parlour and the sitting room would have been a room where they would have ate their meals. This would have been their breakfasts, their lunches, and their informal dinners. Again, all the latest lighting and everything was available for them, and again they were very sumptuously decorated. But they were not for the visitors, they were for the family every day. As we moved towards the back of the house, things started to change a little bit. These were rooms that were not always in public view, and of course these were rooms that were used more by servants. There was a servant staircase which led to the second floor. Once upon the second floor, again, these were the rooms that were used by the family in private. Up the main staircase from the front was another hallway, second floor hallway, which was used as an ante-room. It was another room in the house. In fact, one of the daughters was married in this room. It was a gathering area which you could sit and eat, or have a snack, or read, or play music, maybe have a dance, and all the private rooms and sitting rooms for the family were off these rooms. A lot of these rooms, there was a children's area where they had a school room and a sitting room, and their bedrooms were beyond that, and they were all very beautifully appointed. They also had the family rooms where the elder members of the family had their sitting rooms and their private quarters. Again, all the mod cons were available. Each room had its own fireplace. Each room had beautiful windows and beautiful bedding and bathrooms at this point. Wallpaper was very popular. It had come over from Europe, so beautiful wallpapers would have been in all the rooms and in all of the bathrooms. In Dundurn, the servants, as in many great houses, the servants' quarters were different from the upstairs. The finishes were not there to impress, they were there to serve a function, and that function was to keep the house running. At Dundurn, there was a special area for the washwoman who came in once or twice a week, and she took care of all of the cleaning of the clothes and the bedding, and because it was such a big job, it was something that didn't require a full-time person, but it was enough for a couple of days a week that it was somebody who came in from outside the castle to do the work. The rest of the area there was been a big servants' hall where the servants it was a nice sitting area and a big table where they had their meals, and off that hall would have been the servants' quarters, and the housekeeper would have had a bigger room than the servants, and it would have been nicely appointed. Not as well appointed as the butler, whose quarters would have been on the main floor, so he was always readily available for the house because he was the house's representative. He had more to do with visitors and the family than he really did with the servants. He ruled over the servants, but he was more of a representative of the family than he was an actual servant. So not only is Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, the great-great-granddaughter of Sir Allan MacNab. She's also the museum's patron. This mansion is in Hamilton, Ontario, and it's 18,000 square feet of house, and it took 3 years to build and was completed in 1835. If you ever get the opportunity to come and visit this home, it is such a lovely place to visit.